Oh, everyone's on their own timeline. Don't worry, you're going to find someone. You're going to find them when you're not looking. Shut the up. Shut the literal up. I can't deal with it anymore. I cannot deal with it when the only male validation I have gotten in the last 2 years is the crackhead at the Walden Galleria telling me I have the best rack in Western New York. I can't do it anymore. I am crashing the out.
I really need men my age to start flirting with me the way these 7-year-old men do. I was at work the other day and this 75-year-old man comes up to me and he looks a little frantic, kind of like he's missing or looking for something. And he's like, "Hey, excuse me, did I miss it?" And I was like, "Did you miss what, sir?" He goes, "Did I miss the beauty competition or do I just get to look at the winner?" When I tell you my mouth dropped, all I could say was thank you. The delivery of it, the confidence of it, perfection. Perfection. The only thing wrong was he was 50 years older than me.
Have you ever thought that men your age don't want to be bothered with foolishness?
Listen, I love my guy friends, but some of y'all are too single, okay? Like, you're too freaking single. Don't be sending me updates about your day. Don't be sending me pictures of the food you're eating. Don't be sending me pictures of shoes you're trying on. Because quite frankly, I don't care. Hit me up if you want to hang out. Hit me up if we're making plans to go travel somewhere with a group of people. But if you're hitting me up just to, like, think about me seeing parts of your day, find a woman other than me. We're homies. We're friends. We've never expressed interest. And we're not gonna act like I'm filling that void for you. Okay? I love you, but, like, find a woman.
It sounds like what you're referring to is friendship. At this point, I don't think some of these ladies can even get out of their own way.
And another thing, someone I'm leaving my nails right now, he talking about something. I'm not about to kiss your ass. This your ass. Who else gonna kiss it?
Can men just make it make sense for once? Because my ex broke up with me, broke my heart, shattered it into a million tiny pieces. I had to remove him from all socials, otherwise I'd stalk him all day long. So finally got around to being okay with being friends with him on social media. I posted a gym picture with my guy friend who was like showing me around the gym. We're just friends. And then he unfollows me. Like, you broke up with me and you insisted on being friends with me on social media. All of a sudden, I post a pic with a guy friend and you're gonna get all soft even though you wanted to be single? What the fuck? I'm tired. Why?
You know, some would say that you knew exactly what you were doing. But of course, for a lot of women, or just being innocent, just engaging in innocent activity.
So I have a question for the men. The hardworking, blue collar, getting down and dirty at work, coming home, you're tired, you don't want to lift a finger, men, okay? If you asked your wife, what's for dinner? Your, let's say, stay-at-home mom, wife, what's for dinner on a random Tuesday? And her response was, "Oh, honey, I'm already outside barbecuing you a whole rack of ribs on the grill." What's your response? What do you feel about that? How does that feel? How do you interpret that in your brain? What does that mean to you? Sounds like a stupid question, but I have to ask for personal reasons. Please weigh in.
Because I got news for you, ladies. I'm sorry, but we don't really have the most important jobs. In fact, there was a strike in, I think it was Sweden, and it was like a mass strike of all the women. And guess what? The economy didn't miss a beat. The companies didn't miss a beat. The only thing of worth of note was that the HR department received basically no complaints. So we're replaceable in the workforce. We don't matter in the workforce. We do BS jobs. It doesn't matter. It's stupid.
You know what blows my mind? Men. I commented about my divorce and how it's been 5 years of just a lot of... And men commented, one said, I picked a bad apple. Right, because I love to get disappointed and deceived. So, that's what I go and pick. Are you joking? Men show us this fantasy. They ask the questions, they realize what we want, and they portray the fantasy. We don't pick bad apples. The fool goes to pick a rotten apple and eats it on purpose. Of course not. You pick the beautiful one. And then by the time you take a bite and you spit it out, you realize it's infected with worms. Swear to God.
Tell me you don't know how to go out there and pick fruit without telling me you don't know how to go out there and pick fruit. Oh, it can't be my fault that I picked a bad apple. Maybe once, twice, 2 or 3 times, but at some point in time, I would assume that you get tired of biting into an apple that has a worm in it or bacteria or it's infested, and then you would go do your research and see, is this apple really good? Hey, is anybody around here know how to pick a good apple? Hey, tell me the signs. I think that you try to educate yourself. So at that point in time, yes, it would be your fault that you picked a bad apple.
This is what cracks me up when I see videos like this. This is what cracks me up the most. Because I'm like, how do y'all say this stuff, but you come on social media spewing the complete opposite about what y'all are saying that y'all are getting in your reality? So y'all come on social media spewing negativity against men, and then when you get out in the world with men, you expect men to still want to come up to you and talk to y'all? And y'all would probably be like, it's not all of us that are like that. It's the same that y'all be doing to men. So now men is looking at all of y'all as in, I'm just not going to put it because some of y'all on the internet just ruined it for all of y'all. I really just wish some of the times y'all would really think about what would happen when you do some of these damaging things to yourself.
How long should an exclusive relationship last before marriage? There is no exclusivity before marriage for Christians. I want y'all to get that idea out of y'all head. Until someone puts a ring on your finger, there is no claim to anybody. You could be getting to know somebody, but to be like, oh, well, no, that's my boyfriend. We've been dating for a year. First of all, it don't take no year for a man to realize if he want to marry you. You want to call a man your boyfriend for a year and we're grown-ups? I think it's unbiblical. And I think that when you give somebody a boyfriend-girlfriend title, you prolong the relationship before the marriage because they get comfortable. Having the boyfriend-girlfriend title, it just doesn't do anything for you. I think it just breeds way too much room, especially if you're dating for a year, 2 years. That's nonsense, y'all. That's complete nonsense. And a lot of men do that just to have claim on a woman, just for, I think sometimes their ego's sake. I think that if a man does not know if he wants to marry you within 6 months of like really intentionally getting to know you, then he don't want to marry you, and that's okay. You can move on.
I really don't think that's how the Bible works, but okay. You guys need to learn commitment. Y'all want a man. Think about saying this. Think about having this mindset and wanting a man to spend money over and over again. Why? You're saying off rip, I'm not married to you. I'm not committed to you unless we're married, unless you put a ring on it. If I've asked you to be exclusive, then I would think that we're working up there. Oh, it's not going to take you this long to do that. If I've asked you within a reasonable period of time to be my girlfriend and let's be exclusive, then yes, I'm looking for you to show me and prove to me, as you would want me to prove to you, that we can be together long term. That's what the courting phase is. You guys seem to be missing that.
Black women, we're not protected. Even when it comes to our body image, when it comes to our hair, when it comes to certain things that we do. Some of us are loud. Some of us are aggressive. You know, we're aggressive because we feel like we always got to ready to go. And I'm not saying it's an excuse, but it's rough.
Can I ask a question
Yes.
when you talk about the body image?
Yes.
Have you had black men, like, I don't see black men telling black women, go get your body done. I don't see that. So I'm trying to figure out, like, where is it like that? Like, we're the reason, and we're not telling y'all to do that. Y'all see an image and feel like we like that because of how we respond to it. But the people that we marrying, the people that we with aren't that. And we're not telling you, hey, go look like that. So when y'all go do that, y'all say, I did this for me. So why are we being blamed for it as if, oh, well, y'all want to... No, we not telling y'all go do that. That's choices y'all making.
It's amplified insecurities, and that's the individual issue, but it's amplified insecurities. That's what I'm saying.
But you can't blame your insecurities on me.
We're not blaming them, but it doesn't mean it doesn't add to it. Words are the most powerful things on the planet. You know, so end of the day... And I'm not
what
talking
speaks
about,
more than words? Actions.
Right.
So if... And again, they're not even telling... they're not telling you to go change your body. Black men aren't doing that, so those aren't even our words. And then even on top of that,
you guys' actions though. When you guys go out, the one even
we're marrying regular. We're the people that don't have BBLs are getting married.
So I work at a cigar lounge, aka a barber shop, and the other day they were having a discussion about basically like dating and going on dates. And let me just say, I am terrified of the way that men think. There was this one man, and he's sitting up and he like, yeah, if I take her on a date if she ain't by the second date, then I'm not taking her on no more dates. Basically, like, she gonna give me something like, nah, you want me to keep cashing you out, you want me to keep paying for stuff, but you're not giving me nothing. And so I'm like, dang, like, y'all can't just go without, like, y'all can't just hang out with a female, like, y'all can't just enjoy her presence and her enjoy yours, you know what I'm saying? And they all older, so it's like, I understand, you know, like, you've been through the young dating stage and stuff like that, but it's like, they're in their 50s and 60s. So, like, y'all expecting, I don't know, it's just, it was throwing me all the way off. And like, I don't know why men can't grasp the fact that women can go without having sex with every guy that they interact with. But it's like, we actually want to get to know y'all. We want to get to know who you are, how you are. You know what I'm saying? It's like, why, like, all y'all think about, and I'm not saying all men, obviously it's not all men, but a lot of men just objectify women. Like, it's so irritating. Like, how do you go on the first date and you expect her to give it up? You don't even know her. How do you even know that that's somebody that you want to, you know what I'm saying? Like, how do you even know that? And one of my coworkers was saying how, like, she'll go on a bunch of dates with men and, like, don't be giving it up or whatever. And they was like, yeah, like, he is simp then. And it's like, no, he just actually wants to pursue this woman. He actually likes women outside of sex. Can y'all understand that? Or that's just the foreign concept?
Y'all, listen, I gotta tell you something. So last night I was checking my messages, right? And I go through my messages and then I come across one. It's from this man and I click it open and he is asking me if I will sell him my worn underwear. Yeah, right? So I've never been asked anything like that before. So that was interesting and kind of weird. So I was like, interesting. So I decided I'm going to go on Google, right? So it's like 1 o'clock in the morning and I'm on Google and I'm Googling, is it legal to sell worn underwear in the mail? And apparently it is legal and people do it every day. And they discuss vacuum sealing it and using fake names and how you package it and using a post office box and all this stuff, right? Like, news flash to me because I guess I've been living under a rock. Anyway, so I was like, what the fuck? So I messaged one of my girlfriends about it and I was like, this is insane. Like, people really do this thing. And she was like, yeah, girl, you should make some side money. And long story short, no, I have decided I'm not going to do that. But if you do happen to see me at the post office looking mysterious with some packaging, mind your business. One side note though, if, and be honest, this were to happen to y'all and somebody asked you for something like that, is that something that you would legitimately do? Or if you have been asked for something different and it's interesting, share it with me because I am so interested to talk about this with y'all.
Honestly, I think you know good and well that you're not supposed to be on here asking that question. You guys really will do anything, say anything, share anything for attention, validation. For what reason? To what end?
I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden my For You page has flipped and now I'm seeing single men complaining about how they're not able to find a good woman. So then they'd rather stay single than start dating. And usually I'm on the side of TikTok where I'm seeing women complaining about not finding good men. So I'm going to give my 2 cents here. I think that the reason for dating is so different than it used to be. I mean, do you think that our mothers, grandmothers, great-grandmothers were with our fathers because of love? No. They were with them for financial dependence. But now that women are financially independent, we are looking for different things in relationships. We're looking for emotional availability. We're looking for emotional intelligence and emotional stability and emotional security. And if you can't bring those traits to the table, women are going to continue operating independently and being single. being a single, I've been single basically my whole life, and I've always just been happy and thriving because I have no one telling me and asking me, hey, what do you bring to the table? Like, boy, I know exactly what I bring to the table, but you're not going to get it until you bring what you need to the table.
And you notice the caption down there, male loneliness epidemic, got me thinking, where's the male loneliness epidemic? They said they would rather be single. So now all of a sudden when a man says, I would rather be single, male loneliness epidemic, how? I would, all right.
Dating apps have absolutely ruined modern dating. And that's why I think that today it is so difficult to actually find a partner. So I'm rewatching Sex City for like the kabillionth time. Those 4 women always dating, always. They always have a man on the go. They're meeting people in gym classes, in a cafe, in the bars. Every scenario that they're in, it's an opportunity to have a look and see, can I get chatting to somebody? Can I get a date? So for my generation, from the ages of like 16 up until like 21, all my friends, people were having house parties. They'd invite maybe like one guy friend that they'd know, and then that guy would bring all his friends. And then you do the same with your friends. It was amazing. You'd go to a house party on the weekend and there'd be all these like different people there. I think if the apps hadn't come into existence, I think that we would have evolved from like house parties and stuff. We would have evolved into the Sex and the City ladies where they are meeting people out and about and people are like approaching people in person. I genuinely think that because of the apps, nobody approaches anyone in person anymore because people are too scared, I think, then of like rejection, which is fair enough. Okay, rejection is scary, but back when our parents were trying to find their husbands and wives, that was what they were doing. They had no choice. Our parents would go down to the local pub on the weekends and they would mingle and they would talk to members of the opposite sex because they had to, because there was no other choice. You just had to. I don't think people are shooting their shot as much as they should in the outside world because it's all just like too easy now on the phone. And it's like, it's all too easy, but now it's actually not easy because all the apps are terrible. They're so oversaturated. All they care about is money. Like, they do not care about you finding your husband or wife. All they care about is keeping you on the app and making money.
Well, once again, a lot of these ladies were more open to being approached in public. They didn't say, quit approaching me in public. So men quit doing that. It's all about communication. Like, you guys did not want to be approached in public. Why would I continue? Y'all go to social places and get mad when people try to socialize with y'all in a social place. Y'all are backwards.
I'll tell y'all one thing. Men sometimes just never cease to baffle me. Completely baffle me. Alright, as you can see, I just came back from Wingstop, right? So I'm in Wingstop, waiting on my order. Minding my business, just scrolling through TikTok, whatever. Out the corner of my eye, I see a man staring at me. And I'm like, oh Lord, we're not about to do this. Just stay over there with your raggedy self, right? He gets his food and he leaves. Okay, I'm still waiting on my order. It's very crowded in there, very crowded. I'm still waiting on my order. A couple minutes go by and I see him come back inside. I'm like, oh Lord, what is he doing? What he doing? Come back in here? Did he forget something? Oh, he forgot something. He forgot something. All right. Apparently his next agenda was to come and talk to me. No. So he walks up to me, right? And he hits me with, excuse me, ma'am. I say nothing. I act like I ain't hear him. That's my first thing that I do. I always act like I ain't hear him. Then he comes closer to me. Like, I'm talking right next to me. Like, I could almost feel the breath out of his nose next to me. And he says, excuse me, pretty. And I said, no, I'm good, thank you. And I walk away. And then he said, mumbles something under his breath, like he's irritated about it. My guy, there are about 100 people in this Wingstop. It is hot as balls. I just came back from the gym. I'm sweating my ass off. I don't got time for nobody to be coming up with me and trying to hit on me and get my number. No. And on top of that, you're not even cute. So I definitely won't even entertain you. I don't have time for it. I want my chicken and I want to leave. That's it. That's all. Like, it's too hot for this. It's too hot. I'm too tired. I'm too hungry. No. Why? In a Wingstop? You're just that desperate? Ain't got no dignity. And he's not even cute. I probably already said that, but he wasn't even cute. Like, no. His hair was going all different directions, and hairline up, shoes, up, clothes, everything. No, he looked crazy. No, we're not doing this. You got the wrong one. No way.
So let me get this straight. The man was respectful to you. You decided to give him attitude. You probably had an attitude, and then you decided to show that attitude in public and embarrass him. And then you're upset that the man mumbles something under his breath when you were acting a fool. Get a life.
What's very interesting to me is that I would never, ever, ever understand why men insist on arguing with a woman. I would never understand that. Like, it literally baffles me every time you guys choose to argue with a woman. You can move on. You can keep scrolling. You can keep doing whatever you do and worry about your life. Y'all would literally argue with a woman. I thought that's what women do. I thought women argue. But yet you guys would literally argue with a woman. It's like, I would never understand that. Like, it's giving, I want to be a girl. Like, I want to argue with a girl. I'm confused. I would literally never understand that. I would never understand why a man will literally choose to argue with a woman. Somebody help me understand that. Genuinely, help me understand that. Like, I would never understand why proving your point, proving your case to a woman is going to do anything. You know, be a bigger person. I don't know, maybe walk away. Maybe choose not to say anything at all. But yet you guys will literally argue with a woman to prove your point. For what? You don't know when to be quiet. You don't know when to shut up. You don't know when to close your mouth. You don't know when to walk away. You don't know when to be a bigger person. It's that I see a lot of more women who can walk away, be a bigger person, and choose not to argue. But a man will literally argue a woman down, back and forth. Literally. Help me understand why y'all would literally insist on arguing with a woman. Genuinely. It's spooky out here. It's literally spooky. All ages. All ages. Literally will go back and forth with a woman. But then, oh, you guys are catty. Y'all argue all day. That's all y'all do is yap. All y'all do is run your mouth. But yet, here you guys are making podcasts. Here you guys are talking about women on podcasts. Here you guys literally capitalizing on gossiping. Just like women do, right? Y'all are literally doing the same thing. That's not questionable at all. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Immediately. Fast. Because you guys like to argue with women. It's really weird. It would never make any sense. Like, you guys need help.
So you're saying that you see mostly women be the bigger person and walk away from conversations and arguments when you're saying simultaneously it's in their very nature to argue? Do you hear yourself? Number one. Number two, this is what men have to continue to deal with. Women who don't want to control their emotions. Oh, just be quiet talking to me. Oh, you be the bigger person and just be quiet. How about we both be the bigger person and just stop talking? You want the man to be in control of his emotions, and you're not. You want to be able to say whatever you want to say, and the man have to sit up there and take it. Oh, I don't want a man that goes back and forth with a woman. How about you be a woman that doesn't go back and forth with a man? This is what men be talking about, the same exact thing. I don't want a woman that continues to argue over and over again every single day. And if a man should say that, then all of a sudden he's controlling, he's manipulative, he's insecure, he doesn't like a confident woman. But if a man decides, no, I'm tired of you messing around and acting silly, leave me alone, then all of a sudden he's sassy. All of a sudden, oh, I can't take it. I don't want to be around a man like that's not really a man, that's a boy. Y'all don't really seem to understand that words have meaning. Y'all don't really seem to understand that your words do something. They trigger things. Y'all think because y'all say something, a man is supposed to, oh, well, you know, that don't worry me. No, watch your mouth. You be quiet. You stop talking. Leave that man alone. Why don't you start trying to communicate effectively and start trying to say things effectively? If you can't, how about you go sit down? All right.
It would be nice if one of the things that came out of this whole situation with the Wizard Liz being cheated on is the death of the whole high value woman concept. And I just have so many problems with this type of content and what it's teaching women. And I think that it's responsible for some of the problems between men and women. But even worse, I feel that it puts pressure on women to behave in certain ways that may not be healthy or even in their best interest. One example of this is if I'm on a date with someone and there is absolutely no vibe, there are times where I have split the bill. And I do think that in early dating, the woman shouldn't pick up the tab. But if there is no chemistry at all, I kind of feel bad sometimes. And all of this stuff about how women should be getting princess treatment and the sprinkle stuff is so obviously toxic internet brain rot. And saying this doesn't make me a pick-me. If you think any wealthy man who is worth his weight would ever be with a woman who says sprinkle, you need a reality check. A lot of the women giving this kind of advice are SW. And I just want to remind you that SW isn't the oldest profession in the world, as some people say. It's actually the oldest form of slavery. I'm not saying that Liz is that. I don't know her situation. But the people who make this kind of content where they're trying to get women to behave like SW in dating situations, women who do this and engage like this with men are doing so to their own detriment. And that is why Liz ended up with the man she ended up with. I mean, look at him. He's not in his masculine, he's simpy. He followed her at the airport while she was in a mask. All of this stuff is so unhinged and toxic. And then he cheats on her on Snapchat. I didn't know anyone above the age of 17 used Snapchat. I didn't even know it was still around. All of these women telling you to get an SD style guy who buys you whatever you want, whenever you want, who is your golden retriever #1 fanboy, are selling you a lie. They are selling you a one-way ticket to misery. And it's high time that women wake up to this reality and realize this is the yin to the red pill yang. There's another video of her where she's interacting with a very handsome masculine guy and she's actually in her feminine energy. And it's so different from the video that she put out with her fiance, because her fiance is clearly a beta simp. Have you noticed that so many of these high value women, feminine energy, dark feminine energy coaches are married to undesirable men? That's not a coincidence. This whole thing is not a coincidence. Women are being coached on here to behave in ways that are to their own detriment. And sometimes I wonder if this doesn't have something to do with female intersexual competition. You guys need to wise up. This is the age of Aquarius. There are no more gurus. Look at what just happened with Aubrey Marcus, another perfect example. Maybe I'll make another video on that. But stop making these people your guru. This girl's 25 years old. Okay, love you. Bye.
And a lot of times these women consider themselves high value because they just exist. They throw in some eyeshadow here and there and a little lip gloss or whatever, and they think that just because of some good lighting, they all that in a bag of chips. You're not anything. You're not a celebrity, and even if you were a celebrity, you're still a human being. Act like you have some sense. Y'all be thinking y'all so far above men, y'all so much better than men and all that other stuff. You're not. Everybody has their role to play, and y'all don't seem to know where y'all's is.
People are so mad that I said that I want my husband to handle all of the adulting tasks and pay all of the bills and take care of all the stressful things while I sit around and be the prize and only work on things when I want to work on them. It's gonna make you even more mad to know that my husband actually does all of those things. Like, I'm currently married. I wasn't talking about like my future someday hypothetical husband. No, I'm married to a man that does that and allows me to be exactly how I am. Men like that who want to handle things for you and make your life easier actually exist. And of course I do things for him as well. That video people are just really taking too seriously. I love him, so of course I do things for him that make his life easier also. The point of the whole video was to humorously joke about this predicament that I think a lot of women face, which is like, one day we want to be completely taken care of and provided for, and the next day we want to build an empire and make a lot of money and go out and like be powerful. And like both of these things can exist at the same time.
You know, it's funny because if this were reversed, then women would be calling the man a bum. They would be saying, oh, there's too much emotional labor for me. There's too much domestic labor. But when a man does it, he's a provider and it's all fantastic and I shouldn't have to do anything.
A man just left a comment on one of my videos and he said, I don't know why women don't ask for help when they're burnt out from the mental load. It's not that hard. Just ask for help. We're not mind readers. We can't help you unless you ask us for help. Which I honestly find so funny because men say all of this all the time. But I wonder, did they have to ask their wife to make dinner for the kids? Did they have to ask her to fold the laundry and then remind her when she forgot? Did they have to ask her to drop the kids off at school and pick them up and make sure they had lunches and snacks packed? Did they have to ask her to plan the birthday party and make sure the kids had gifts? Did they have to ask her to take them to the dentist appointment or the doctor's appointment and fill out all of the forms? Did they have to ask her to sign them up for summer camp or swim lessons or baseball, whatever it might be? Did they have to ask her to do any of those things, or did she just do it? Did she just do it because that is part of being a parent and managing a home and all the things that go into it? Now that's the difference. Men sit there and they say, I'm happy to help if you ask, but if you don't ask me, please don't expect me to empty the dishwasher or to take out the trash or to pick up the kids from school or sign them up for summer camp. Unless you ask me, I'm not doing it. And I know that some men are going to come in here and say, hey, I'm not a mind reader. I don't know what she wants me to do. Does she want me to fold the laundry or make dinner? She has to tell me what takes priority. But what that tells me is you think she's the manager of the house. That ultimately it's her job to decide. You can't make that decision for yourself because you don't know enough about the home and the kids to make that decision. Or these men might say, well, when I do it on my own, when I take ownership and accountability, she's never happy. I always do it wrong. It's never up to her standards. But chances are in those instances, you are doing things that are not up to the standards of the home, right? You made a dinner the kids are never going to eat. You folded the laundry and you put it in the wrong kid's closet. Of course she's going to tell you that's wrong because it is, right? And so we can't blame her for doing that. Now, I'm not saying that people don't have different standards. Of course they do. And you have to talk about those things as a couple. If you do something and it's not up to her standard, have a conversation about it. Have a conversation about why she has those standards, why it's important to her, because chances are it's not for no reason. Right? People don't have high standards for no reasons. Also, we have to consider the fact that women have been held to incredibly high standards, especially in parenting and motherhood. And so, makes sense she might have them. Here's the thing. Your wife doesn't want to ask you for help. Because what that insinuates is it's her job. It's her responsibility. And that you're just there to lend a hand when it's convenient for you. And ultimately, it's her job. And if a ball gets dropped, it's hers to pick it up. But if she drops a ball, you're not going to be there behind her. And that is not fair. That is not a relationship that feels fair to her. So of course she's burnt out. So you coming to her and saying, just ask me, I'm happy to help, is not helpful at all.
I'm going to go ahead and put this video behind the lady that was talking about, oh, my husband does all of this stuff. And, you know, I'm already married, so it's okay for me to do it. You see what I mean? Do you see what I mean? Women will continue to tell you all of the stuff that they're doing and continue to say a man should be, oh, he don't have to ask. I don't have to ask. And I'm doing all this other stuff. Hey, I'm tired of doing that. I need help. But she's not helping the man do all that stuff. Oh, man, he wants to do this for me. But you can at least help him. But you're not going to because that's what you want to do. They sit up here and say all of this stuff. The man is doing this stuff inside and outside of the home. Men are still, well, we go to work too. Men are still doing the hardest jobs. They're still doing the heaviest, dirtiest, most dangerous jobs. And you know what happens? Those jobs are more laborious. Those jobs take more time and more out of you, more out of the human body. That's just the way it is. When you go to the gym, how do you feel? Tired. Except think about you working out and doing your cardio and really busting your hump for an hour. Think about a man having to do that for 12 to 16 hours. Blue collar workers. And not only that, imagine having to do that and use your entire mind to focus. Men have to do that every day, all day. And then they have to pick up overtime. Some of these men are out here working 6-7 days a week. They don't ever, and they have families. They don't ever really get to come home. They're tired. They're exhausted. And they still don't get to go home and just lay in the bed. What was that lady talking about? My husband works 12 to however many hours a day and then comes home. We want to go out for a picnic. I want to go out for a picnic, but he don't want to walk outside the house. He don't want to go. He just want to stay home and chill with us. He don't want to come outside and hang with us because he's tired. The men have to take care of a lot of stuff outside the home. Y'all sit up here and talk about, well, I made the dentist appointment. You can do that from your phone. Oh, I washed the clothes. You just throw the clothes in the lock. You don't even have to separate it no more. You don't have to separate it no more. You just throw a pot in there. Couple of beep, beep, beep. And some of these are smart washers. They be washing all that stuff out. It's not that. And a dishwasher. Load. Pod. That's it. That's it. And you can't talk that trash to me because I do it. I do it. I buy the best stuff so I don't have to worry about it. Oh, I have to mop and clean and sweep. You guys look like you're well-to-do. Amazon has sales all the time. You can get a robot, a self-cleaning and these robots are getting smarter every day. Where they have AI technology and they can find and see obstacles. So I'm not going to go down the stairs and fall off and break. I'm going to see that barrier. Oh, and I can also look at carpet. Oh, this is carpet. So I'm going to start immediately vacuuming. Set it in for, oh, you want a deep clean? Set it on deep clean. Oh, you want to use more water and more suction power? Oh, you want it to pick up more dirt and grime and dust? I can do that. These types of tools make your life exponentially easier. Y'all are not doing the same work that y'all's parents used to do, that your mothers used to do. If y'all would, I can see you making an argument. You sitting up in the house making a rap. You got plenty of time to do what you're doing, sitting up and complaining. Sitting up and complaining. Y'all don't, I never hear you talk about the things that your husband does. I never hear it. He's doing this, and that. He does this, and this. I never hear it. What I hear about is you complaining about how men ain't picking up the slack, how men ain't doing nothing. Why we gotta tell you what we need to do? Because when I go to try to do it, you don't like the way I do it. So I step back. Oh, you make it seem like I'm the manager of the home and I gotta do, because you want it done a certain way. If you would take your hands off of everything and having it's got to be my way. It's got to be done like this. This is the right way to do it. Do you not think, this is something my dad said to me. You know, I've been doing this, running businesses since before I got married. But all of a sudden, when you get married, women think that you don't know how to do anything. They think that you hadn't been doing anything this whole time. They walk into your house. They see all that stuff in there. They see everything is set up like it should be. But all of a sudden, when they get in your house, then you don't know what you're doing. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? But this is what women think. Well, I can make it like that. Well, I got to go to doctor's appointments. You can do all of that on the app. And some of this stuff you can get a virtual doctor for, and you don't have to go in. And then you don't even got to go to pharmacy. You can get that mailed to you. How do I know? Because I just did it. I just did it a couple days ago. Man, y'all don't have it as hard as y'all saying y'all do. I understand y'all are working and y'all are doing a lot, and I appreciate that. I do. I sincerely do. But the way y'all making it seem like men are just incompetent and, oh, they just not doing it, especially the good husband. Like you say, you got a good husband. There's a miscommunication. There's a breakdown somewhere, and y'all are not taking accountability for y'all's part.
Dating Over 50 update on Mr. GK. So I wasn't sure if I was going to share this, but I'm going to. Because I don't know if this is like just a hangover from being in a unhealthy relationship for so many years in my past, or if this is something that he's doing that's truly causing this feeling of anxiety and a little bit of sadness, I guess. So I'll just kind of give you guys an update, and you can leave me a comment down below and let me know what you think. But you know, we've been on like 7 or 8 dates, right? And they've been pretty amazing. I love how I feel when I'm with him, okay? But the last like day and a half, I just feel like his energy's like pulling back a little bit. And I don't know why, obviously, and it's not like terrible, but it's just like the tone of his texting doesn't seem to be the same. maybe he's texting me a little less frequently, and I'm trying just like not worry about it and keep the focus on me and let go of the outcome. And I'm doing all the things that I told y'all to do and that my therapist tells me to do, like meditate and journal and figure out what's causing these uncomfortable feelings. And I even talked to my daughter about it a little bit. And it's like, instead of saying like, why is his energy seem to be shifting, or why does he seem to be texting me a little bit less, or whatever, what I need to say is, why is what he's doing causing me to be anxious? Like, that's the real question. Why am I making such a big deal about that? Because it really shouldn't matter, right? Because if I truly love myself and I have a good relationship with myself, then why am I putting so much stock and validation into what he does? And there's a little part of me that says, well, of course you are, Heather, because you have to make sure that the guy that you're with is treating you with respect and with kindness and with consistency. And he has been. He's been kind and he's been respectful and he's been pretty consistent. Does he get a score of 100? No. But no one's perfect. So that's one part of me saying that. But then I feel like I have this big protective part of me that's probably bigger than usual because of my unhealthy past and unhealthy history in relationships, that gets pretty loud at the first sign of a little bit of inconsistency, which to I don't want to say a normal person, because who's to say what normal is, to somebody who hasn't had an unhealthy history of relationships, it might not be a big deal. Like, so what? Don't attach any meaning to it, right? Like, has he said anything to me that makes me think that he doesn't still want to be with me, or still like date me seriously and all that? Like, he told me, I've deleted the apps. I don't want to date anyone else. I only want to focus on you. Like, that made me feel good. But I'm also reminding myself this is also pretty early on. And so again, I don't know the guy. So even though it feels really good to be chosen, he's saying he chooses me, right? But like, do I want to do that? Do I want to just be exclusive with him and, only put my focus on him? And there's a big part of me that does, but then there's another part of me, again, that protective part of me that's really coming forward, that's saying, Heather, wait a second. You've done this before. You've moved too fast before and it didn't work out so well. So be careful, be slow. So it's like I have this protective part of me, and then I have this other part of me that's super excited, and they're sort of battling and they're sort of fighting. And this protective part of me is causing me all this anxiety. And this excited part of me is like the little girl in me, like the 16-year-old that's like, oh my gosh, we like him. Just do it. Just go for it. And it's like, wait a second. So I guess this is just me being honest and being vulnerable and letting y'all know and myself know, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm going to let him just continue to show up as he is. And if he becomes more inconsistent and if he becomes more withdrawn, then there's my answer. He's not for me. Big deal. I knew the guy for 3 weeks. Or maybe not. Maybe he'll continue to show up and he'll be more consistent and we'll get closer and our connection will go stronger. And the truth is, I don't know the answer. And the unknown scares me because of my past, because I was always waiting for the next shoe to drop. I was always waiting for, and I know I need to not do that. I know I need to not think that way. And I'm really trying my best, but it's hard. It's hard. And that's okay. So if you're also dating and you've been in an unhealthy relationship and you're trying to date afterwards and it's hard for you, of course it's hard for you. I'm here to validate your feelings. I'm also here to validate my own feelings. And the one thing that I think is super helpful that's helped me so much is not focusing on them and not focusing on their behavior, but focusing on what is constant in my life, and that is God. God is constant. God is always going to love me. So like I went to church today, listening to some Christian music. I went to brunch with my son. I'm going to dinner with my family. Tonight, I'm focusing on all the things that I can control, all the blessings that are in my life. And he's just a small piece of the pie. So guess what? If it doesn't work out with him, that's okay. It's okay because there's 4 billion men in the world. Let me remind you of, ladies. And there you go. And again, it's easier to say that, but sometimes it's hard. And so I'm just here to say if it's hard for you, that's okay. Don't be hard on yourself because you're worth it and I love you. So leave me a comment down below and let me know if you can relate.
We talk about the simplistic thinking of a man, and this is how it helps them. Maybe men think too simply sometimes, but this is how simplistic thinking helps a man. While you're going off the deep end about this, and this, a lot of times men are able to look at a problem and say, okay, big picture, I'm going to zoom out. What does this look like? Oh man, this hamburger's got all these toppings. It makes it complex. This. Okay, this is great. I love the hamburger, but let's zoom out and see why I should pay $1,000 for this hamburger. Oh, because it's this. And no matter how much value you build into it, I'm not going to be paying $1,000 for a hamburger because it's just a hamburger. That's the simplicity of it. It's just a hamburger. Maybe if I want to have a good experience and, you know, other things, and there's the scenery or the vibe or the environment, maybe I pay a little bit more for what this is, $200-$300, right? If I got it, right? Most people don't want to pay that, and I get it, I understand it, right? But $1,000 just to say that you've done it, most people are not going to be doing that. Most people are not going to pay anywhere over maybe $50 for a hamburger, depending on where you live, right? It's simplistic thinking. It's just, here's the problem, and this is what it is. Too many times, and I think, and you're a lot older than I am, too many times, you specifically have continued to go to the therapist. Well, this is happening, that's happening, this and that. You're doing too much. You're doing too much. And then when you have something rolling, you pull back from that. A man comes in the city, well, you know, it's not going to work for us. We're not going to do X, Y, and Z. And you throw him off. And then you go on another date with another man and y'all get to rolling. And then all of a sudden you're back here in the same predicament, in the same situation again, talking about on the verge of tears at the beginning of the video, talking about how you can't find a man. And then you're going to continue to do this over and over again. This is what men are avoiding. This is what they don't want to be a part of. This back and forth of, well, I don't know this and I don't know that. And women in the comments, your body and your intuition knows. And with past trauma, your anxious attachment style is triggered. Women's intuition is always spot on. Listen to it, honey. I think you guys have moved pretty quickly. It's natural to just pull back, just mirror him back and see how it plays out. Y'all are talking about all of these things. Oh, okay, I'm going to slow down and I'm going to start taking things slow. I'm going to be patient. Yes, but then you should have been able to start asking questions and locking things down. Simplicity. Okay, here's what I have. I've got all these ingredients. I'm going to take it piece by piece. Let me remove the bread. Let me remove the tomatoes, the lettuce, the cheese. What do I have here? A burger patty, a beef patty. That's the foundation of the hamburger. Now I'm going to look at it and say, okay, this is what I need. Oh, I don't like mayo. Let me take off the mayo. Can I live with mayo? Okay, it's fine. Let's put it back on there. It's not a big deal. Let's put mayo. And you start building your burger how you want it. You start, okay, what's the core of my life? All right, we're going to start with that. We're not moving off of that. Okay, now I want a little bit of this. Let's start, do I need that? Okay, well, let's just leave it in there. Okay, fine. And you start building until you get to what you're looking for. And you start asking questions in tandem or in the direction of what you're looking for. And that's how you find what you need to find. Are you going to have to use critical thought? Absolutely. Is it going to be a quick exercise? No. Experience helps because you've been through a lot of things, so you should have seen a lot of things. But you're not using your experience. You're just doing the same thing that a young woman in her early 20s would do. You're asking the same question in your 50s that a young woman in her 20s, in her teens would be asking. And that is not growth. That's the same cycle over and over again. You know what that is? The plot to a really good drama, the plot to a really good show where the woman is always having these relationships and this story and then there's this guy and that guy. Sex in the City. That's what that sounds like, actually. Sounds like a plot to like Sex in the City. And whatever other shows you guys watch. I guess Golden Girls, where they're always doing something and we just come back to center. It's all just us. That's what that sounds like. And y'all rarely ever find anybody because y'all are always in this movie, this storyline, this plot to where y'all keep on doing the same thing over and over again. And y'all never, even though you're talking, even though you're doing all of the right things and checking off boxes, you never truly get to the root of the matter. You never solve it because I don't want to be bothered with that. It should just be like this. It's not. Start asking questions that are in alignment with your values.